Hey folks, welcome back to this video, and in this video we're gonna look at how to ace solving a product case question. Product case question is one of the first rounds that you will face in any sort of product management interview, and only if you qualify this round you will be able to see the next rounds. Also, if not for product interviews, product case solving is also a very good thing that you can do to build up your portfolio. So product case is something that virtual sort of an experience where you as a product manager are trying to solve a specific problem faced by any hypothetical company, where you have to go through a structured solving process of going from the problem statement to identifying the users to understanding the pain points, then mapping it out, then getting to solutions, then metric, prioritization and stuff like that. In this video, I'll be going over all these steps and showing you different kinds of tools, guides, resources, examples and places where you can find these questions and even practice them. Right, so let's get right into it. The very first thing that I'm going to show you is a product teardown guide. So this product teardown guide is done by the product folks, and I'll leave all the links to these ones in the description below. So this was made for one of the teardown that they were doing, and I'll show you what you get when you get a case question. How is it given? So this is what is given to you as a product manager to solve. Right, this is the problem statement. You have recently joined so and so company as a product manager. On this app, the retention is high for network users. How will you make sure that more and more users become network users? Further, retention appears to be high for users who create an expense with friends. So and so problem. This will have all the hypothesis for you to basically think around, wrap your head around, and this is the problem statement. Right. So most of these cases also come with sort of details about how you have to submit your answer. So it could be like 10-pager, or if they already have a template, or they might be asking a specific set of slides that you want to present and solve through. Right. So now there are quite some things that are given in this guide as like steps to product teardown. There's user empathy mapping, like understanding how user feels, what user sees, what is user saying, what does he hear, what does he do, and different kinds of things. And then you have user persona. User persona is trying to model ideal user and trying to understand how does he look like, what does he do, where does he spend his time, what are his pain points, goals, motivations, and different kinds of things associated with the problem or the product statement that is at hand. And then you come down to a bunch of solutions which are missing in this guide. I'll show you another guide where you'll see all of those. And then you have prioritization. Prioritization, there are a bunch of different kinds of prioritization frameworks. You can use Moscow, you can use RISE, you can use Kano model and things like that. These are the top 3 ones. Of course, if you Google like product management prioritization frameworks, every single company is trying to come up with their own framework. You will see those frameworks. Right. So I have another guide for you folks. Some images are missing, but I'll try to explain as much as possible in a good manner. So the first thing to consider here is like firstly, don't start making presentations. Firstly, you solve a case on a paper. You take a pen and paper and you try to map things down, sketch things down, write things down, do some research from the Play Store reviews or the Google reviews, and try to understand what people are trying to do. You can do different kinds of research. It could be a primary research, it could be a secondary research. When I talk about primary research, it's more about you going and asking users, you going and approaching people to understand what they think about the brand. Have they used it? Are there any problems that they are facing it, right? In the secondary sort of research, it's more about like you consuming the other material online. You're going through the other sort of reviews, other sort of people's YouTube videos, experience share videos, or any sort of basically any messages that the customer support has got, trying to understand and diagnose the issue. And starting with the goal and laying down the approach is like you take the problem, break it down, and basically add all the building blocks, then you show that what exactly is the kind of the path that you're going to follow to solve this specific case, right? You can do all these things, you can check these out, and I'll also share a lot of samples with you which you can go through, and you will find most of these teardown winners or the teardown decks have a very similar sort of an approach in terms of the structure, right? Then you have the research and groundwork. So whenever you are trying to solve a problem which is very into a specific product, it's very important to understand the product at a high level. So research and groundwork focuses on understanding what the product is, what do they do, what are the USPs, how does the customer value look like, what exactly is the product offering, and things like that. And you can see the different kinds of researchers here. And then when you come to like the user interviews and personas, you can see if it is a primary research that was actually conducted, it might be surveys, it might be interviews like I previously said, or approaching someone and talking to them. Then you will have a set of interview questions and some sort of data that you have got after doing these interviews or actually surveys. So you can present that as well. And after that, in the user persona, you can see this like for the interviews, and these are questions, these are key findings, and these are the questions, like I said. And then comes to the we come to the user persona. User persona is more like what are those characteristics of the ideal user that you are trying to serve, or ideal user persona of the people who are actually using your product, and trying to understand. This user persona is made by secondary and primary research. You get a fair bit of understanding in your mind, these are the kinds of users who are using this app and things like that, and you use that understanding to build this user persona, right? So you can check the sample user personas here. And then you have customer journey analysis. So you go through the whole customer journey and try to understand what all are those steps that the user is going through while using the product, or while going through the flow where the problem statement is actually located or takes place, right? And then you come to the solutions. You can break down the problem. Firstly, the best thing that you can do is like break down the problem. Then you have the problem prioritization, where you say these are the 3-4 problems due to which the bigger problem is taking place, and then you go and tackle each of these problem statements, the smaller problem statements, and come up with solutions for each of them, right? So then you have these things, and you describe each of the solution with wireframes, with different kinds of data, with different kinds of callouts and things like that. And then you have the prioritization. You have different kinds of prioritization frameworks like RISE, effort, impact, Kano model, lot of different kinds of ones, but you are good to you can refer a couple of samples and the decks that I'll be sharing in this video and in the description to understand what are the different frameworks that the other folks who have solved these cases have used as well, right? And then you prioritize all your solutions, and you basically present those top solutions again by actually justifying why did you pick these out of all the other solutions, right? So then you once you have all these things in place, you try to make a presentation out of it, and then you put it graphically, and this is how the whole process works, right? So now you might tell me is I know the process, I know the theory, but I actually don't know how a real case looks like. I need a lot of examples, a lot of places where I can go and I can check these out for myself, and then I can understand the structure by observation, right? So for that particular thing, I'll be showing a lot of examples where places where you can find these examples. One such example is this PMSCHOOL LinkedIn page. They have a weekly challenge every week. So people post these sort of decks on in here, they submit them, and these folks pick the best of the decks and then actually congratulate the winners and stuff like that. You can see a lot of decks like these which are super quick. You will be able to see most of the things that we discussed in terms of like how you should go about different sections of this case. And these are the features, these are the success metrics and go-to-market strategy and things like that. So you will find a lot of these decks in here on this page. You can dig deeper and you will find a lot of these ones here. So the second place where you can find is this the product folks teardown videos, which is the presentations of the teardowns that they come up with. They bring real companies and get their problem statements and present it to all the participants, and the participants work for a month, and then they basically present it. Actually, the top 3 present in the finals and things like that. So that's how this works. You can go through all of these videos where you will see 3-4 participants presenting their own deck. So these product teardowns decks, you will find all the decks here, the winners decks. You can find different products and different decks. You'll also find a bunch of decks where you can find my name. I have solved like 4-5 editions and been in the finals for 3-4 editions. So you can find my decks here as well. You can go to any deck and you can basically open it up and you will be able to go through the entire deck and go seeing what exactly is it, how is it solved and things like that. Right? You will get the structure, you will get a lot of these examples from here. There are around 20, 25, 30 decks here which you can go through and basically understand at your own pace. Right. So we have seen the guide to build a deck and how to go about solving it. Then we have seen different places where you can find examples and understand how these decks are made, how these cases are solved, so that you get a good picture of how exactly to solve a case. Right. Now you know how to solve a case after going through these guides, after going through these sample case decks, but now the thing is like you need to find the tools to basically put forward the deck in the presentation, right? So the best place to do this is Figma. It's a design tool which you can basically learn. It's a very straightforward sort of a tool. If you don't want to learn Figma, you can go with like Google presentations. You can use any sort of presentation PPT software to make these ones. And inside the presentations, when you present your wireframes and things like that, you can use Balsamiq. Balsamiq is a really good tool where you can drag and drop these elements and make wireframes. If you're not good at design, Balsamiq is go-to as a first-time product manager who is trying to build these wireframes. So for research, you can go with Play Store reviews, Google reviews, and whatnot. And yeah, I think that's it. There are not a lot of tools that you need to know. It's not rocket science. It's pretty straightforward. And let's move to the next section where I'll be showing how you can practice and approach these product cases. Right. So the first video that I would recommend you watching is like approaching case study in a product management interview with a PM at booking.com. This is a really good sort of video which basically is structured in a way where if you watch this, you will get a very good confidence level where you understand why are we doing every slide in this deck. What is the significance of each of the slides in the deck, and that's a great place to be in to understand why we are doing what we are doing. Right? Do check out and watch this video. I'll leave the link in the description. The second place where you can practice is these PM question bank. These are real questions which are actually submitted by people who have interviewed at these companies. So you get to experience the real life sort of interview questions here. You can look at Dropbox interview questions, Facebook, Google, Lyft, Microsoft, Amazon, and whatnot. So these are from all over the world. So these questions will give you a very good perspective in terms of what to expect and how these interviews could be structured and what are those questions that could be asked. So I'll leave the link to this in the description, and these have like thousands of questions here, so which can really help you. So coming to the second resource for practice actually is this one, where you get these live on the PMSCHOOL's LinkedIn page. As we already saw, that these live challenges which happen every single week, where you get a problem statement like this. These are the places where you can basically look at different sort of problem statements out of these decks and make sense of these problem statements and trying to understand what exactly are they trying to ask and things like that, right? So this is the second place that you can look at. The third place is like product management exercises.com. This is a very good website. It has around 2000 product manager interview questions from the best of the best companies. The good part is that along with the questions, you do get to know what other people have answered, so you can read different sort of perspectives and answers to the same question. So that is why this resource is really important. So the next one where you can practice is this Product Teardown. This happens once a month by the product folks, and you can see the upcoming teardown here, and you can basically register for it, and you will get the problem statement in your inbox, and they have a complete process in the community which you can join here. They have a 1 month sort of engagement. You have AMAs, you have sessions conducted, you have Slack AMAs where you can ask these experts and the team to any question that you have with respect to the problem statement or any data that you require and things like that. Is a really good way to basically practice. With all of this, I think now you understand what is a product case and how to solve it, how to go about practicing more such product cases and add them to your portfolio, and basically be supercharged and ace these product cases in the product interviews. And that's it. I would like to thank you from bottom of my heart if you have stayed till now, and I'm really actually thankful to you. And if you do have any other actually suggestions for videos in terms of like any topics that you want to hear from me, do drop them in the comments below. And if you like this video, don't forget to share this video with your friends and subscribe to this channel so that this video reaches a lot more people. And with this, I'll end this video and I'll see you in the next one.